Welcome to the Yo-11 podcast. Yo-11 podcast, mostly Vegas, no BS casino experience and more. Michael Traeger is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into travel realities. And how's it going, Michael?
It's going very well. And how are you doing, Mr. Movestro?
I'm doing very well as well. Very well as well. Thank you for asking.
Sir, I'm doing very well as as you're doing very well. Sir, are you doing very well?
It appears that we are both doing very well. Yes, that appears to be the consensus.
Yes, that's true. Well, doing well is a really good thing. So what do you think about convention business in Las Vegas?
It is a convention town, isn't it? It seems like many conventions happen here each and every single year.
You know, as reported by CDC Gaming, did you know that they're completing a renovation of the convention center this year? And it's going to go from 1.9 million square feet of leasable space to 2.5 million square feet. Numbers which I do not really know how to ponder with regard to square footage, which is a 30% increase in space. And what's sort of interesting is that convention attendance in 2025, that would be the year we're currently in, is up 1.8%, while overall tourism in Las Vegas is down 6.5%. So it's interesting, and they're predicting, which of course you would expect the Las Vegas Convention Authority to be predicting this, that 2026 is going to be the greatest year in the city's history of convention attendance. What do you think about that?
I think that's a very bold claim. The truth will be revealed when we look back on 2026. I think that just because they're getting 30% more space doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get 30% more conventions. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it is the LVCVA. I'm not saying they've ever boosted numbers about anything. But I am saying that. And that's my personal opinion. That's not the opinion of Travel Zork. But, you know, they do these things like, oh, Las Vegas has this many visitors because this is how many people flew into Harry Reid. Harry Reid's also a hub. Everybody who flies in to Harry Reid stays in Vegas. But anyways, yeah. Good job, LVCVA.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, so they're thinking that prior to the renovation, it's going from, say, like 1.545 million attendees, and they expect to bring it up to 1.9 million. So I guess it's a combination of you've got more space, so you can make some conventions even bigger. They're adding new conventions, so they can have more conventions, but more conventions isn't necessarily going to correlate, in my mind, to the space, right? Unless the new conventions need more space, right? I mean, like if you had days that weren't filled with a convention and you add a convention on those days and they don't take the additional space, it doesn't, I'm not really, you know, that's more, I mean, I guess you have two things happening in parallel. You have them saying that more and more conventions are coming to Las Vegas. They're signing on new conventions. And on top of it, they're going to have 30% more space for the current and new conventions that are coming. So I guess we shall see. But this is a good thing to always throw out there when people try to say like Vegas is dead, Vegas is busy, look at this, and they show like a snapshot at any given moment in Las Vegas. You know how like people love to do that on social media and say, look, it's empty, look, it's full. Like, did you see on social media yesterday somebody, I think it might have been Vegas Confessions, I think it was Julian of Vegas Confessions, shared the line to get into the Flamingo Go pool, which was like huge. And what's today's Wednesday? So that was like Tuesday. So it's always so like Vegas is so tricky sometimes, right? Because I think you like pulsate between the people like Vegas is dying, nobody's coming, to look at the 7-hour check-in line at Luxor. So I mean, it's like you don't know what to believe sometimes.
And that's the thing about social media and people taking pictures or a quick video, is that it's a moment in time that was happening during that 1 minute. Like I'm sure if they went to the Flamingo Go pool at like 7 a.m. or at the hottest part of the day, because even with pools, nobody wants to be outside this time of year, and this line is short. Oh, look how not busy the Flamingo. Well, why don't you? Yeah, well, of course it's 3 p.m. But that's the thing is like people like look, no one's gambling in this one particular section at this particular. But then as soon as you turn off your camera and walk away, and a group shows up, no one's getting that. So it's just you can't really judge it by pictures like how well it's doing. It's going to be in the end about numbers, and gambling is down, visitation is down a bit. So we'll see what happens. But if you look at the numbers,
Yeah,
the
no,
truth is
I
always in
agree
the
with the
numbers.
one point in time. Like, remember, like the Monday of Memorial Day, after we went to dinner and we were wandering around late at night at Wynn Las Vegas,
Oh
and it
yeah,
was late,
man.
like after midnight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, it's all $100 craps tables and they're all full. And look at the $300 Mississippi stud table and Ultimate Texas Hold'em tables are all 500, and the Baccarat room is full. And and I kept saying to you, look at that $100 table, $100 table, $100 table, $300 table, $500 table. And, you would figure it's like the holiday's over. Like, why is it so busy? But you don't know. I mean, there's so many things that can impact something like a conference, a convention, a group, that can impact different things that are going on in different properties. And then also you also have that huge deviation of like things that are going on in Allegiant or things that are going on in the convention center, and like the properties closer to those areas can
Hmm.
be way busier or other things are happening. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. You really have to look at the data, like the broad data, like take a step backwards, which you usually don't have until the next year, to be able to really determine like, is something dying, or is something really, really bad. And then also you have, just to close with, you just have this whole thing like, what does it really mean? Convention attendance 1.8%, overall tourism down 6.5%. Does 6.5% in overall tourism mean that that's something you're going to be able to visualize, right? And then again, that's 6.5% of the entire town. So like that might not be like from property to property. Some properties might be up, some might be flat. So this idea that you can walk around with a camera and visualize at any moment in time what's going on, reflective on Vegas, is sort of not really good data, good maths, good anything. So something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I don't know how many people are aware, but we have relaunched the travelzork.com website, which is officially our travelzork.com 2.0 website. We are quite proud of it. We have been talking about this for a long time. The original travelzork.com website was launched on October 31st, 2014, so it was long overdue. A lot of technical upgrades as well as theme upgrades and things like that to make it work better, faster, better on mobile. Just as an aside, there is also a travelzork.travel website, which is our basically travel website where you make travel booking requests and learn about different properties and things like that. But back to the travelzork.com, of which Movestro has been working really hard and came up with the new design and everything. And I think he'll tell you a little bit about it and show it off, because he's really the brains. He's the brains behind all of this. So I mean, you need to let the brains do the comparisons.
Alrighty. So basically, this is the redesign of the site. I've been calling it TZCom 2.0. And just, went with some changes here. The format we had previously was kind of showing its age. It wasn't that great on mobile, and it was just time to bring it in. To the current digital where we are currently in the world. But basically, a lot of website discovery happens on mobile. So we wanted to make sure that it was something that's going to look good on mobile, and so far it does. And so, but here is the site. Is a lot of times you hear people say, "Yeah, I forget what website I was on when I saw this." So, and that's because most websites have a logo that's very tiny and to the left in the corner. We're putting ours just huge and right there on top. so you can't mistake where you are. And I'm pretty sure our color scheme that's been in place since, what was it, 2013 or something?
2014. Also, a
2014.
good thing to bring up is that you're looking at it on the like laptop desktop version. So the navigation bar on the top is a little bit different when you're on mobile. But one of the cool things Movestro did is he made this big ass search bar, and this works so well. Like if you put something like video poker in there or Bob Dancer in there, because he's written a number of articles for us years ago, it will pull up all those articles instantaneously, and you can search for all kinds of things. And I just love it because it's so easy, it's so functional. And one of the other things that Movestro is going to be doing is every week we're going to be refreshing some of these what we call evergreen articles about things like video poker and gambling, which are still really good articles, but have sort of little, I wouldn't say they're outdated, I would say they need to be reformatted a little bit. And we just need to, bring them to people's attention, and I think that'll be sort of cool. So if you check back to tz.com 2.0 every week, you're going to find new fresh stuff, as well as the weekly articles by Mark Meltzer, the Loyalty Corner by Justin, and Dia is going to be doing some travel stuff, and I think Movestro has that up in the pipe too, so that's pretty cool. But otherwise, I'll let Movestro take it from there, because there's some other sections which are on the menu bar which are pretty cool also.
All right, yes. So back to the website just a little bit more. When you get to there, it has this revolving thing here on the top. It's a lot bigger than it was. It's all designed for the site, and it's going to give you the last few stories right there. And then underneath it, there's going to be, those stories plus other stories that were before it. And it's sort of got a travel card looking site, a loyalty card looking kind of design here for each of the things. It's just one of the things we do. It's like loyalty and points, travel. So it just sort of made sense to go with this kind of a format instead of the traditional squares that you see on blogs everywhere. And of course, if you want more stories, there's a next button right there. I'm especially happy with how the footer came out. Not a lot of people talk about their footers, but I love this thing. I think it's pretty magnificent. And you got all the social media parts down here. And of course, Travel Zork Travel, as was just mentioned, you have a link to it down there, a little banner, quick links, and all that stuff. But it looks good. All right, so another part of the site, when you hit book travel, it's going to take you to travelzork.travel, which is, of course, the travel side, travel business side of TravelZork. So that's where that's going to take you. Of course, luxury hotels, Vegas experts, destinations, so many things. If you're trying to book travel, as we say, luxury travel booking, TravelZork Travel. This is what we're talking about. In case you haven't been there. All right, and the next part of our webpage is the media section. This is brand new. We didn't have one of these before. Basically, we got a blurb about the Yo-11 podcast, how to get to us on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube, a little introduction to the podcast. And here you'll find, the 3 most recent episodes of the podcast, which, refreshes out every time we upload a new one. We have some of our playlists from the YouTube channel, like the exquisite in-room dining stuff. So yeah, we do awesome in-room dining. We do great stuff. Luxury room tours, Thompson Terrace, the penthouse suite at Thompson Madrid, Santa Moro, just like all these places within the United States and around the world that Mr. Traeger gets to go to. You always get a room tour of each one, so that's always going to be refreshed in here every time there's a new one. All this is coming from our YouTube channel. You can subscribe by hitting the subscribe button right here under each playlist. It'll subscribe you to the channel. We have ZorkFest stuff down here from our ZorkFest playlist. ZorkFest coming up in about 6 months from now. Yeah. And then you have hot videos, stuff we love, stuff that seems to be doing well on YouTube, or maybe there's just a particular affection for that particular thing. That's where it goes. So now we move along to the next tab. The next tab, of course, is ZorkFest. You can get to it by zorkfest.com or travelzorktravel/zorkfest. But ZorkFest is coming up. That's the site. If you want to get some information, click on that ZorkFest link in the main menu at the top of travelzork.com, and you'll get all your information there. And the next thing we have is we have a deals section, well, with these 3 different tabs here. So we have credit card offers, and we have, these are the current credit card offers that are going on. You can always check out more about favorite credit cards over here, and learn a lot of information. There's a thing called Card Explorer.
Just interject. We're gonna be updating and adding even more to that. But you could talk about the Card Explorer, because that's pretty cool, and that brings you to.
Yeah, Card Explorer is this thing that we know we have with our friends at yourbestcreditcards.com. And you click that, and basically, look at that. Look, you can find the card that suits you. Basically, it gives you all these like great things. I had nothing to do with designing this. This is just one of our affiliates, but it takes you right there. It's just so you have an idea of what this button does and all that. So a lot of offers there. Be sure to check them out. We also have the Founders Card promotion going on, so be sure to check that out as well if you want to be part of Founders Card. We have it there. We always have deals going on, travel deals. We got a bunch of them. Be sure to check it out. So basically, you got either Founders Card, Drag Kings, Draft Kings, not to be confused with Drag Queens. Oh boy.
Yeah, I will be updating. I mean, the main thing is, the main thing is that most of the sections on a website, we have a minimal number of sections to keep the navigation really great, and things like the media center and stuff like that is the real pulse of what we're often looking to do. But it's nice that we have, we will be updating the deal sites and things like that. I might even do something creative, because I'm starting to create some deals Facebook groups. I have another travel group, and we might link to some of those from that section, or I might list some of that. A lot of that is a little bit difficult, because it's much easier for me to throw up deals in a Facebook group than it is necessarily to keep updating it on the website. But basically, we do have that section, and I would say what's cool is just check back and see what's there, just like the media center. And just like, did you go over the Casino Zork section that shows the different sections of? It's basically just search topics that you can, popular casino topics.
Yeah, I'm on that screen now. I was getting into that before you jumped in.
I will let you get into it. I'm sorry, I'm very jumpy today.
Oh, it's okay. Sometimes it's nice when someone has to mansplain things to me. So over here is Casino Zork.
Ooh.
So yeah, you learn how to fly for free. Again, some affiliates there, but always decent deals. And down here, all your Vegas news, all the Vegas news that we get from Mark Meltzer every 2 Fridays, you're gonna find it there. And then we have our category links for casino news, hotel reviews, trip reports, narratives, video poker, Atlantic City, loyalty programs, and gaming. And also you can sign up to our newsletter. It's a free subscription. We don't give away your information, so be sure to subscribe to that if you haven't already. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the tour of the travelzork.com website. So Michael, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and also it links remember, the one thing is, as the hub, the travelzork.com links out to the .travel website, and there are a lot of places that say if you want to book travel, go to the .travel website, and it also links out to the ZorkFest website. So you can think of it as travelzork.com is the hub for everything. Of course, we also have our wonderful Facebook group, and we're all over social media, but we think it's good. What's going to be neat now is that it's going to be much easier to read a lot of articles on mobile, for sure. And it's also going to be, it's going to be easier to read articles on mobile, which is wonderful. And you'll be able to search more easily. The website's much faster. And this sort of inspires us to keep updating some of the articles, because we have over 1,300 articles. And I think you can correct me, but it's close to 1,400 articles. So there is a lot there. There is some stuff that is truly outdated, but there's a lot of other stuff that isn't really that outdated, or has gambling theory, or just has some, regular Las Vegas kind of vibey stuff. So So it's sort of cool. So we'll be stepping through all of that and revising some of those. And of course, we have more content than ever. What would you say, Movestro? We usually drop at least 2 new articles a week, sometimes 3.
Yeah, about 2 to 3 articles a week. You have Mark Meltzer every Friday. You have Justin, who has something every week or so. We have Dia coming aboard, Dia Adams. Um, and so she's going to be doing some stuff as well. Of course, I'll be contributing also. So yeah, anywhere from 2 to 3 articles a week is pretty much what you can expect at Travel Zork. Not to mention the evergreen content that we have, like game strategy. Blackjack strategy isn't ever really going to change. Video poker, nothing's changing with that. So there's a lot of content that
There were
we
some
have.
great articles from Vegas. There are some really the inveterate gambler. I mean, had some great articles on blackjack strategy, and we also have all those Bob Dancer articles, like the one we did this week. I love the one we did this week. Right, it's like my favorite title ever. The one that we republished this week.
Yeah, that was another one, another evergreen article. And what we're doing with those is like we're not really updating the content, but we are going to make it look better for the current version of the website.
Right. And if there's anything in there that's content wrong, so if it's an article that talks about gaming but is mentioning a specific property or something specific which we know isn't there anymore, we'll either remove that information or update it. But this article is great. I really suggest you check it out. We should put it in the show notes. When you gamble perfectly but still lose. And we all have been there. And it's a great article by Bob Dancer, and it was originally published actually in 2016. We updated it in 2020, and now are updated again in 2025. And what's sort of cool in the bottom of these articles, we sort of give you the little history of the article about how it's been, because we're not trying to hide that, and say, hey, it's a brand new article we wrote this week. We're trying to show you the history. And I think at this point, one of the cool things about Travel Zork and travelzork.com is that we do have this history, this history of articles, this history of content, this history of expertise. And that's something we're quite proud of.
Yep, indeed. And that's pretty much it. Is there anything that you'd like to add, or anything on your mind before we get going?
No, we'd love feedback. Obviously, there are some things that, people might run into that need to be corrected. Since we had to sort of move all of these articles over to the new website, that's not exactly the correct technical term. There will be errors, and we'd love to hear from you. Please let us know if you see something on the website that looks like it needs to be fixed. You can let us know in the Facebook group. You can send an email to tips@travelzork.com. You can send us direct messages, but we do actually appreciate that, because it's sort of hard. I told Movestro that he should go through all 1,300 plus articles by tomorrow, and he was like a little grumpy about that. So
It's just a little bit, just
a tiny grumpy,
just a tad grumpy, just a little bit, yeah.
A tad grumpy, yes, but because it is hard. I mean, also is, for anyone who knows the technical things, WordPress used to be much different in 2013. It was a classic version of WordPress. We are way beyond the classic version of WordPress, but of course, a lot of these articles were still in the classic version of WordPress, which is crazy because you barely see that anymore, right?
Yeah. It's definitely a moment in time.
It is a moment in time. So anyway, that's the story, and we thank everyone for visiting and following us and supporting us, because that is always super appreciated. We have lots of new things coming in the next couple of months, including, of course, always more video content. This podcast, which has now, I think we can say semi-officially, we are going to be dropping 1 episode a week on Wednesdays. Is that correct, Movestro? Is that what we've committed to? 1 episode a week on Wednesdays. It's going to be really simple.
Yeah.
Wednesday's going to be the day.
Hump Day is Yo-11 podcast day.
Hub Day is Yo-11. Everything else is on a different schedule. But we're aiming for 1 podcast a week, and we'll see how that goes. We're also going to be adding an interesting Travel in Vegas premium program to YouTube. It's taken me a while to come up with that, because I just want to add a program where people pay to support us, but I wanted to get some really cool benefits. And I've been working on some cool benefits that are travel and otherwise for the different levels, so you get some of these benefits with your membership. So we are going to finally have a membership program and it also, like, tie in with some of the travel services on YouTube. I would say it will be ready by the end of the year because we've got so much great stuff happening with ZorkFest right now. By the way, Carissa is coming back, and she's got some great lab ideas and other things. So we'll be talking. We just try not to like talk your ear off about ZorkFest, but I will tell you this is going to be the best ZorkFest ever. Go to ZorkFest.com, buy a ticket. Trust me, it's going to be great. I guarantee it. Movestro will even guarantee it, right, Movestro?
I 98% guarantee it. I have to leave myself like a 2% window.
Okay, and there's a 2% window. That's right. That's right. But Movestro, but if you don't like ZorkFest, Movestro will come and wash your car. If you live within a mile of his home. we've already restricted to all the people who live within a mile of your home.
Within a mile of the home, and it's got to be not during the summer months. And
not during the summer
months. I will
months.
not be wearing a tank top and wetting myself with the hose and like bending over the car with a sponge or any of that stuff. It's just gonna be a quick
feisty. And we will be starting a Movestro OnlyFans by the end of the year.
No,
you will find him on OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
At Movestro.
OnlyFans.com, the Movestro experience.
Yes, we'll be setting up the Movestro experience for you. If you think you've heard of some other experiences, you have not experienced anything until you've experienced the Movestro.
Oh my dear sweet Lord. All right, and that's gonna do it.
And you're like, we are done.
Luxury travel booking, travelzork.travel. Visit us at travelzork.travel to plan your next amazing vacation, not just to Las Vegas, but anywhere in the world. And be sure to join the conversation on social media. You can find us easily. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.